Hey James, welcome back to the channel. I want to do a bonus video. I realized when I did the one about, I did a video talking about Joni Lamb and her dream and how this dream apparently validated Pete, and she felt that God told her that Pete was innocent. And I really didn't give you a whole lot of Bible verses to talk about it. I put one up on the screen that talked about false prophets. But I'm going to quickly go through some verses that talk about false prophets, because the overwhelming evidence is that, number one, Jonathan and Susie's daughter was, in fact, mistreated, as our friend at Not By Sight News will say. And I like to use that term as well. So let's put these verses up real quick. Deuteronomy 18, verse 20 says, "If any prophet presumes to speak anything in my name that I have not authorized him to speak, or speaks in the name of other gods, that prophet must die." That's pretty serious. I know it's under the old covenant, but still, that's how God treats it when people speak false things in God's name. Ezekiel 13:9, "My hand will be against the prophet who sees delusion and announce omens. They will not be included in the council of my people, nor written in the registry of the house of Israel, nor enter the land of Israel. Then you will know that I am the sovereign Lord." Remember, Ezekiel was ministering to the exiles. And so they knew eventually they would, well, some of them at least knew eventually they'd get to go back home. That's why he said, talking about entering the land of Israel. Jeremiah 14:14 says, "Then the Lord said to me, those prophets are prophesying lies while claiming my authority. I did not send them. I did not commission them. I did not speak to them. They are prophesying to these people false visions, worthless predictions, and the delusions of their own mind." Later in the same book, Jeremiah 23:16, "The Lord of heaven's army says to the people of Jerusalem, do not listen to what those prophets are saying to you. They are filling you with false hopes. They're reporting visions with their own imaginations, not something the Lord has given them to say." God takes it very seriously when somebody says, "I had a dream," or "I had a vision and God told me." God takes that very seriously. And the simple fact is this: if Pete, and I keep using that word because of the fact that he really hasn't been charged with a crime, at least not yet. If he was cleared, then why did he keep begging the forensic investigator to clear him? If he was obviously not guilty, he wouldn't have a problem doing an independent and third-party investigation. Why is it that when they did the interview, his wife did most of the talking? So, anyway, a couple of verses from the New Testament that deal with this. Matthew 24:24. "For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect." 2 Timothy 4, verses 3-4. "For there will be a time when people will not tolerate sound teaching. Instead of following their own desires, they will accumulate teachers for themselves because they have insatiable curiosity to hear new things." I want to make something abundantly clear, and I think this t-shirt is the one from, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can." That's that famous quote from John Wesley. And I am Wesleyan in my theology, and Wesley never used the term Wesleyan quadrilateral. That came after him. But he said that there are four sources of theology: Scripture, reason, tradition, and experience. And I will tell you that the other three are always secondary to Scripture. If your experience doesn't match Scripture, you need to go back and check yourself. If your reasoning in your mind doesn't match Scripture, you need to check yourself. Tradition, if you're holding on to a tradition that doesn't match Scripture, you need to go check yourself. So this dream does not match what people are saying. The forensic investigator clearly said that when she interviewed that little girl was scared. The little girl didn't want to talk. She was completely emotionally shut down. And you know who caused that? Joni Lamb. Now, major verse I want to look at is it's one of the key verses throughout this entire channel. I've shared this several times. Matthew 7, verses 15 through 20. This is where this comes from. It says, watch out for false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are voracious wolves. You will recognize them by their fruit. Grapes are not gathered from thorns, or figs from thistles, are they? In the same way, every good tree that bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree is not able to bear bad fruit, but nor a bad tree to bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then you will recognize them by their fruit. Here's the bottom line. It happened more than once. Susie was attacked. She was mistreated by some kooky chiropractor who didn't even have a license back in 2017. What was Daystar's response? Cover it up. Jonathan and Susie's little daughter was allegedly mistreated by a family member. What was Daystar's response? Cover it up. If I'm in charge of an organization, and God willing, one day we will have, I want to start a halfway house for women who've been abused. The person in charge, one of their main responsibilities is to make sure that everybody there is safe. And quite frankly, Marcus and Joni Lamb dropped the ball multiple times. That's why this is so important. That's why this needs to be investigated. If they did nothing wrong, then doing an independent third-party investigation shouldn't be a problem. But I'm going to keep hammering this point home until Daystar wakes up. You can't just put trackers on your workers' cars and send private investigators after people. Your focus should be on protecting your people and taking care of them because they work for you. You know, if you're a shepherd, you take care of the sheep. You don't just instantly get rid of people because they disagree with you. That's not how godly leaders act. So, sorry, I actually went a little bit longer than I planned, but I needed to get that off my chest. Because godly leaders take care of their people. I can't talk about my day job here, but I can tell you that during the day, I've got one of the most godly people I've ever worked for, ever. Takes care of me, looks out for me, is concerned about my well-being. And I would run through a wall for that guy. I really would. I'm very loyal, and that's why I'm staying. Now, if the channel continues to grow and we're actually, eventually, I would like to retire as a chaplain and form a nonprofit organization. So please keep that in your prayers. The long-term goal, I want to have a halfway house for women in the Waco area. I think that would be a huge benefit. I think it's needed. So anyway, if you are new, please hit like and subscribe. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of the community. And thank you for your comments. So many great ideas have come from the comments section. So just speak your mind. I may use one of your comments as a video idea. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.